The truth occurs. The truth occurs.
Hi everyone. Well, for many of us, 9/11 is not a closed case, and we would still like to know who was actually responsible. And recently, a court has decided that Larry Silverstein was not responsible, for negligence anyway. The court says Silverstein not liable in 9/11 7 WTC collapse. It says here that a federal judge has dismissed negligence claims by utility company Con Edison over the destruction of the original 7 World Trade Center on 9/11. Silverstein had been charged with 2 counts of negligence having to do with the design and construction of the building and also an unreasonable amount of fuel in 2 6,000-gallon tanks. But the court says that he didn't do anything wrong and it just had to do with an unfortunate chain of events. So many firefighters dead from the collapse of the towers next door and the water system destroyed. There was no way to stop the fire, which was made worse when the diesel tanks inside the building exploded. But, you know, it wasn't Larry's fault. So that's it for them as far as the court's concerned. As far as I'm concerned, I have only 2 words. Pull it. So the courts say that Larry Silverstein was not responsible for negligence and the World Trade Center 7 collapse. So who is responsible? Well, strangely enough, Al-Qaeda is now claiming responsibility. This is from The Guardian. Al-Qaeda calls on Ahmadinejad to end 9/11 conspiracy theories. They insist that they did it. They say the Iranian government has professed on the tongue of its president Ahmadinejad that it does not believe that Al-Qaeda was behind 9/11, but rather the US government. So we may ask the question, why would Iran ascribe to such a ridiculous belief that stands in the face of all logic and evidence? So that's weird. It's like Al-Qaeda's become part of the propaganda machine now. It's very strange because their supposed leader, Osama bin Laden, when the attacks happened, this is what he said. According to Wikipedia, Osama bin Laden's statements after 9/11, he said, "I stress that I have not carried out this act, which appears to have been carried out by individuals with their own motivation." It's kind of cryptic, but in any case, he did say that he didn't do it, and he was the leader of Al-Qaeda. So if he's the leader and he didn't do it, how could Al-Qaeda have done it unless they were being led by someone else, which is a possibility. This article in The Guardian is from 2005, written by Robin Cook. The struggle against terrorism cannot be won by military means. And here's what's interesting. This is what Robin Cook has to say about Al-Qaeda. He says, Al-Qaeda literally, quote, "The database was originally the computer file of the thousands of mujahideen who were recruited and trained with the help from the CIA to defeat the Russians. Inexplicably and with disastrous consequences, it never appears to have occurred to Washington that once Russia was out of the way, bin Laden's organization would turn its attention to the West." So Al-Qaeda is a database of people who are trained by the CIA. So kind of means that Al-Qaeda really is the CIA, doesn't it? And I mean, if they weren't acting on Osama's orders, you know, he said that he didn't do 9/11, and yet Al-Qaeda is claiming that they did do 9/11, and they were trained by the CIA. I need to go to my chalkboard to illustrate. Now, if A equals Al-Qaeda and C equals CIA and A equals C, then if A did 9/11, that would mean that C did 9/11 because it wasn't O. So then the CIA is basically insisting that they did 9/11. So I guess the truth is finally coming out. Simple deductive reasoning. Well, thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.